Merry Christmas, everybody! This is Tip Top Gaming here today with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's Christmas special, I have made 15 custom Magic the Gathering cards that are themed around Christmas. Now, these cards are generally finished in their state, however, they may not be worded perfectly because I decided to put function over exactly looking right. Either way, in this set, there are 3 different, tiers or, shards that kind of have different mechanics. So, in green, white, blue, we have the gifters, who care all about gifting things. Now, this idea was not my original idea. A while ago, I covered a custom Magic the Gathering card that cared about giving gifts to people, and I thought the idea was super cool that I decided to expand upon it in this set. So, gifting gifts includes, making players draw cards, gain life, make them create tokens, and giving them your creatures. So, all of those count as gifting. Then we have the naughty and nice, which is white and black, which cares about naughty or nice. So basically, naughty or nice, for each player, you pick naughty or nice. If you pick the naughty option, you negatively hurt them, but if you pick the nice option, you gain something. So the more players you're playing against, the better the ability is, and it allows you to be both offensive and defensive. And the last tier, shard, color combination is red-green, and it is about elves, and they care about toy and coal tokens. Toy tokens are pretty cool. They are colorless artifacts with pay 1, tap an untapped creature you control, sacrifice this card to draw a card and gain 1 life. Activate this ability only on your turn. So you pay 1, tap it, and tap an untapped creature you control to draw a card, and then gain a life, and you can only do that on your turn, so you can't do it at your opponent's end step before your turn. Then we have Coal, which is our colorless artifact tokens with pay 2, destroy this card, and at the beginning of your upkeep, this card deals 1 damage to you. So the idea here is that you keep presents for yourself and give Coal. The nice thing is, when you give a player Coal, if you are using, gifters, there's some interaction there because you're making them create a token, and so on and so forth. But I've kind of talked about vague things. Why don't we jump into card specifics? At the mythic section of each ability, there is a planeswalker that works really well with the mechanic. However, I will talk about those second because you kind of have to understand where the mechanic comes from. So, I'm going to use Season of Joy to show what the gift mechanic really wants to do. Season of Joy is a 4-cost enchantment. It says, whenever you give a gift, you may draw a card or gain 4 life. You give a gift when you cause an opponent to gain life, draw a card, create a token, or when you give an opponent control of one of your permanents. Then you can either pay 1 in a green and make each opponent create a 1/1 green creature elf, or 1 in a white and each opponent gains life equal to the number of elves they control, or pay 2, each opponent draws a card. So the idea here is that you can pay 2 to draw a card and gain 4 life, but your opponent is also gaining some value out of this. So the idea here is that, hey, you're happy, so giving people gifts benefits you. So why don't we jump into Santa Gifter. He's a green, white, blue legendary planeswalker Santa, and he can be your commander. You can use his +1 to make each player create a toy token, which again was that thing that makes it so you can pay 1, tap it, tap a creature you control, and sacrifice it to gain a life and draw a card. Now, since each player creates it, technically, if you have any cards that care about toys, you are benefiting from this as well. And also, you're triggering giving a gift because you're giving another player a token. So this Santa really works well with the giving toys and giving coal theme as well. Then, -2, each player gains life equal to the number of toys they control. So this is generally good if you, use this, while they have 1 toy. That is enough to proc, it's enough to proc gift, but it also can let you gain a ton of life if you are creating lots of toys through other means. And then -7, it says, for each toy an opponent controls, you draw 3 cards, gain 5 life, and create 2 1/1 green elf creature tokens. So the idea here is that you're trying to give them lots and lots of toys, and then you benefit from giving them lots and lots of toys. So, while that may not be on super flavor for Santa, I had to make this somewhat playable, not just giving everything away. I think this works really well. There are other cards here that work really well with it, like Filled with Care, which is a 4-cost sorcery, and it says create a toy token. You may have any number of players create a toy token. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each target. So theoretically, you could cast this for 2 and have 3 people create toy tokens, which benefits you if you're playing Gift. But it also could just be pay 4, get a toy token. So if you don't want to benefit your opponents, you don't have to. And so I think that this creates some very interesting game dynamics. Alrighty, why don't we jump into Naughty and Nice? A good example of this is Seize You When You're ... It's a 5-cost enchantment curse, and it says enchant player, naughty or nice. When you enchant a player with Seize You When You're ... comma, I don't know why I said comma, choose either naughty or nice. If you choose naughty, all creatures enchanted player controls get -1/-1, and if you choose nice, creatures enchanted player controls get +1/+1. So this is kind of a good example of how naughty or nice works. I think this card is kind of simple and to understand. However, there are some things that interact with it. Another card that also has naughty or nice is check twice, and it says for each player choose either naughty or nice. Each player which you choose naughty creates a cold token. For each player you choose nice, they gain 1 life and you create a toy token. Interacting with this, however, there are some things called Joy to the World, which is a 2-cost white enchantment, and it says you gain 7 life, so you just pay 2 and gain 7 life. However, it also says naughty and nice effects always affect you as if nice was chosen. So basically, as long as this is on the battlefield, say someone played check twice, they would have to choose nice for you. Okay, then the next one is Devilish Act, which is the opposite. It says when it enters the battlefield, deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. However, your naughty and nice effects always affect you as naughty if chosen. So that's some fun interaction there. Then why don't we move to the Planeswalker. Rand Listmaster is a white, black legendary Planeswalker, and it says whenever you have to choose between naughty or nice, you may choose both. So this is very powerful for naughty and nice because you can be gaining things and hurting your opponent. Then you get +1 until your next turn. You may cast spells with naughty or nice as though they had flash. So just nice interaction there. -3, each opponent create a 1/1 red elf creature token. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. So this is not necessarily interaction with naughty or nice, but showing that you are giving them you are hurting them and benefiting you. Then -8. You get an emblem with all spells you control have naughty or nice. For each player, choose naughty or nice. For each player you choose naughty, they discard 2 cards. For each player you choose nice, draw 2 cards. So that is very devastating. It takes a while. It takes 5 turns after he comes out to get that, but all spells. So you play a 1/1 creature, you can make each opponent discard 2 cards, and you draw 2 cards. It's pretty crazy. Alrighty, let's move on to the very last color combination. Flea, Master of the Elves, is a 5-cost legendary creature. Planeswalker Flea. Whenever a coal or toy is sacrificed or destroyed, put a loyalty counter on Flea, Master of the Elves. You may activate Flea, Master of the Elves' loyalty abilities any number of times on your turn. So the idea here is that Flea does not gain loyalty like a normal Planeswalker, and you can use her ability as many times as you want. I think that it might need to be adjusted in terms of power level, but when you enter the battlefield, she has 3 loyalty, so you can use her -1 3 times. This could be just a 5-cost create 3 toy tokens tapped. However, it could also be a 5-cost create 3 cold tokens. Or you can use this in the long game and try to get her to her ultimate, which says you get an emblem with all permanents your opponents control are artifact coals in addition to their other types, and all permanents you control are artifact toys in addition to their other types. So why that is so powerful is it's only really powerful if Flea, Master of the Elves, is still on the battlefield, because her other passive ability makes it so whenever they're destroyed, you put a counter on her. So let's say every single permanent your opponent controls is a coal. Well, if you destroy them, if they die in combat, if anything happens to them, you put a loyalty counter on Flea, which then means you can put another toy or cold token out on the battlefield. So that allows for some very interesting gameplay. She's very self-contained. However, you can do a lot better when you use other creatures that care about toy and coal. So for instance, Trey Coal Master, 1 red-green, legendary creature elf. When it enters the battlefield, create a coal token under the control of an opponent, so it slowly kills them unless they choose to destroy it, which is kind of the theme behind coal. And then whenever a coal deals damage to a player, you may have Trey Coal Master deal damage to that player equal to its power. It's a 1/1, so technically when it enters the battlefield, just makes coal deal 2 damage. However, if you can put counters on this, because it is in green, it would be better. Then we have Herot Toy Master, which is a 2-cost legendary creature elf. When it enters the battlefield, create a toy token, and then you can tap, sacrifice a toy token, draw a card, and you gain a life, which is actually the ability for for normally toy tokens. However, you don't have to pay the mana, and you can do this at instant speed. So that's the one advantage. She's a lot better at like opening presents. So that's kind of the thing there. Now there are other kind of like creatures like Santa's Elf, which 2 costs 0/1 creature elf. Whenever you give a gift, you may add red or green. There's Small Package, which is a 2 cost artifact. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may have each player create a copy of it. If you do, draw a card. And then so that works because, and then you can pay 1, tap it, and tap an untapped creature you control. Basically, it has the toy ability. However, you can give everyone this toy and draw a card off of it, which works really well if you're in the gift mechanic. I tried to build a lot of cross like mechanics so they work together. There are some cards that don't really fit in anything specific, like End to All Good Night. Each opponent draws a card and tap all creatures. So the idea here is that it's a cheap tap all creatures. However, you're making your opponent draw a card. However, because you're paying 1, you're getting rid of a card in your hand to give them another card, which is generally not good. However, you're getting an ability out of this, and you're triggering gift. So there are some other things like Hert's List Assistant. When Hert's List Assistant enters the battlefield, for each player choose Naughty or Nice. For each player you choose Naughty, that player discards a card. For each player you choose Nice, draw a card and lose a life. So there are lots of interesting mechanics in here. I think that it's a very fun set. There'll be a link in the description to see the full card list. If you guys have any suggestions for how to change this or what you would do with this Christmas set, please let me know. It's really fun to build custom Magic cards. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.